Sincere, noble, sucker.
Welcome to Always for Black. We are building lines through awareness and conscious knowledge. We are number one source for news, politics, sports, entertainment, and everything in black culture. We break down issues from both a street and a scholarly perspective. So stay tuned as we enlighten, empower, and entertain you. Peace, people.
Peace, people. Welcome to Always for Black Radio. This is Sue. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Nate and Miss Baba. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Oh, good.
Everything's good.
No doubt, no doubt. Mikael will be back with us shortly. He's not here today episode, but we still going to get it popping. Now, man, I'm just going to get straight into it because it's going to be kind of a heavy show today. So I'm not even going to do too many small talks or introduction because we have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of very serious issues. So let's get right into it. Of course, most of y'all is familiar with what happened in Miami. So I'm going to let my co-host, Miss Baba, speak on that right now. Miss Baba, I'll toss it to you.
Thank you, Sue. So, yeah, this past Monday, there was a police officer in North Miami who had shot an unarmed, compliant black male, 47-year-old Charles Kinsey. He suffered from a gunshot wound to his leg. Now, this is the situation. Supposedly, there was a 911 caller who stated that there was someone wielding a gun and threatening suicide. So, two officers arrive on the scene. You can see at that point that Charles Kinsey, he's on the ground, like laying on his back with his hands in the air the whole time, and he's trying to calm down his autistic client. Some people, depending on where you work, you either call them a client, a patient, what have you. He's trying to calm his autistic patient down. He's just sitting there playing with the weight truck, and supposedly somehow that got misconstrued as he was holding a firearm. Now, when the police officers arrived on the scene, they definitely had guns drawn, and it looked like they were ready for war, pretty much. They were ready to shoot. So Kinsey, he was laying there with his hands in the air, and he stated, no one has a gun. We are completely unarmed. I'm a behavioral therapist, and this is my patient with autism. And, trying to help them understand the situation. Somehow, everything just went left anyway, and he got shot in the leg. So I'm going to toss it to the panel right now and ask you, why is it, in your mind, do you believe that Charles Kinsey, who did everything right, got shot in the first place? And I'll toss it to you, Nate.
We're back at it again, and I would say, you know what? I don't think there's one right thing that we can do in these situations. It goes back to what I talked about, a few shows ago, when the guy asked, and he asked him, and his lawyer asked, like, why did you shoot him? And he asked, why did you shoot me? And the guy said, I don't know. And to me, I don't know is code for I was scared as hell. And I just panicked. I shot you. I don't know it's not an answer if you're holding a firearm. And you're in control of de-escalate. And this is the other thing we got to talk about, too. So officers are supposed to de-escalate a situation when they arrive on the scene. And what we've seen, continuously, is that officers don't de-escalate when it comes to African Americans, especially African American males. They do not de-escalate. When they come guns drawn, like you said, out of the car, ready to go. But honestly, the guy was just scared, man. The guy was scared. But one thing I do like about this story, two things I like about this story. Number one, it was caught on camera.
Wait. Brother Nate. It's kind of hard to hear you a little bit. You sound like you're a little low.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay, gotcha. But the two things that I like about, this situation, of course, I don't want anybody being shot, but the things that I like that happened was, number one, it was caught on camera. Once again, because if things are not caught on camera, it's so easy to say that it was his fault. You can clearly see that this gentleman did nothing wrong. So that's the first thing. The second thing I like about this situation is the fact that this brother's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. Now, my hope is, when he sued him, because I would, my hope is that he invests in something that would help with this cause. Because it's like the gentleman said, and especially if you watch the interview, because they interviewed him, just how shocked he was. Like he said, he didn't even know he got shot. He was just like, I can't believe he shot me. So my hope is that he takes this money and that he advocates for others who will be put in the same situation.
Right, I hear you. Go ahead.
Right, and I just want to say the brother was very smart because he laid on the ground with his hands up. So it was no way they could flip that because it was on camera. Everybody saw it. There's no way you could perceive him as a threat. That's first of all. Secondly, the excuse they're trying to give now is that, he wasn't the target. Well, the autistic gentleman wasn't armed either. So that really doesn't make it any better. So it goes back to a number of things, a number of different things. Like, first of all, it is true, training. Training is terrible. They seem like they get and talk to shoot first. If there's any type of perceived threat, they can shoot and they can go to a front of a judge and say, hey, I perceive this as a threat. But what if your perceived threat is wrong? Or what if you're just making up? I don't understand that I perceive it as a threat. But if it's not true, it's not true. That's one thing. That's the first thing right there. Secondly, I'm kind of just want to take a bigger picture of this. Now, the 2006 FBI report is starting to get some traction. And this is something that me and Miss Bob have been talking about for a while now. I think I bring it up almost every show. And one of the things that I want to ask y'all is this. Why haven't the media covered it? And if it was a federal report, how come the federal government have not taken any type of concrete action to curtail white supremacist groups infiltrating law enforcement? This is the own FBI report. It wasn't even under the Obama administration. It was under the Bush administration in 2006. Now, when Obama first got in office, the FBI did bring it up a little bit. Then you had conservative shows like Morning Joe say they was demonizing veterans and stuff like that. And they backed down. They shouldn't have backed down. So I want to know, we need to get this popping right now. How can we put pressure on the federal government to do something about a federal government report that they put out themselves? How can we get that popping? I want to ask both of y'all that.
Well, I'll take that first, and it all boils down to finances. And, we continuously state that time and time and again, but that's really what it is. Because we see other instances of great change occurring, and it's never given. It's either taken forcefully, or you're put in a situation where it's some sort of financial benefit for them to do so. So those are the only two options I have in mind.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Financially, that's just where it starts. And then secondly, maybe we have to get a campaign started to where more people, because now it is starting to pick up more and more traction. But honestly speaking, a lot of people are kind of disconnected from that whole report. Like, people are not really talking about it. And then we got to talk about how much money, and this is what we're talking about financially, right? How much money is that going to cost? And honestly, we don't know what's, and I'll say this too, we really don't know what's in that report. And if it comes out that pretty much 95% of our law enforcement agencies are compromised, I don't know how they would manage that. I really don't know.
Well, I have an idea. Go ahead, Miss Baba.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay, this is my idea right here. I think we definitely need to get some hashtags popping. Those of you that know me, I'm not the biggest Twitter or social media person out there, but
yeah, that's true.
For real. But those of you who in the social media, Facebook, Twitter, get those hashtags popping, and I'm even going, get it going too. Like, we gotta put pressure and make people more aware of this report and put pressure on the federal government. I want every person that care about this issue, every person, black, white, whatever, you need to call your Congress representative, your local congressman, and ask them what are they doing about it. Contact your U.S. senator. What are they doing? I live in New York State. I'm going to be contacting Chuck Schumer office. I'm going to be contacting Kristen Gillibrand office. I want to know, are they planning to do anything about this report? What is the plan? Because it is a federal report. Those are your federal representatives. So those are my two senators. Find out who your two senators are. Contact them. Find out who your local Congress representative is. Contact them. I don't care if they're Republican or not. Flood their office. That's what we got to do. I agree with y'all long term. We definitely got to get economics popping. We talk about that all the time, and I agree. But sometimes there are long-term solutions, and there's certain things you could do in the short term. Will it be more effective if we had a more stable economic base? Absolutely. And we got to work to get that. But that's no reason just to say, okay, we can't do nothing now. We got to have some type of action now. And that's what I'm coming up with. Flood their office, call every day if you have to. Make them give you the answer and ask them, why have this not been discussed before?
Right. And I agree. And this case is just sickening because it's just like, we've been bombarded with these stories that have made it to the mainstream news, however, and every time something happens, they always try to discredit the character of the victim. So even if the victim wasn't doing anything at that moment, they'll always try to pull up their rap sheet. Or even if he was doing something illegal or wrong, if he went and he forgot to use his signal, that shouldn't ever end up with you being killed. Like the police officer, I don't care if you caught me red-handed in the middle of a crime. You should never be the police officer should never be the person to take my life unless I was threatening him in some way or was threatening the life of others. You understand? And in this case, and I think the reason why they can't, this hasn't been brought to the mainstream media's attention as much as the other stories is because there's literally nothing wrong that you can say. This man did absolutely everything correct and got shot anyway. Now, two things I did want to point out. Number one is the fact that, I give it to this man because I don't know if I would have had enough patience. Like, if someone shot me, if a police officer shot me and I knew that I did nothing wrong, I'm out there just doing my job, and he shot me, right? There's no way I'm going to call him sir after that. But I understand why it's necessary and important for him to do so, and he did. He said, sir, why did you shoot me? So even after he was violated in the worst way, he still showed a level of respect. And I do believe he did the absolute correct thing because if he would have acted out in any type of way, then people would have tried to use that as the reason why maybe, before the tape rolled, maybe that's the image he was giving off, or, they'll come up with their own little narrative. But then another thing, the police officer stated, they actually came out with his name, and his name is Jonathan Alita, and he's a 30-year-old Hispanic male. He's part of he was on the force for, I believe, 4 years, and he is part of the SWAT. He's a SWAT team member. Now, if you get a call, I understand if you get a call and you're called to the scene, and in your mind is someone is armed at the scene and there's some sort of threat, right? Don't you have to come to the situation and assess the situation, or you just take anyone's word for it? That's my question. And then once you assess the situation, why would you still feel like there was some sort of threat? Now, the police officer, Aleda, he's stating that he thought that the autistic man was trying to hurt Kinsey. So that's why he let off 3 shots. Now, my thing is this. How the hell did you miss a target that was sitting upright? And
that's a lie.
He's not a small man. How do you miss a target that's sitting upright, but then end up hitting the guy that's laying down?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. So you could have missed me with that bullshit, to be honest. And then, also, thank God, he was released from, Kinsey was released from the hospital, 2 days ago. And he's in, he's expected to make a full recovery. But it's ridiculous. And then after they shot him, and he even asked the officer, like Brother Nate stated, he said, "Why did you shoot me?" He said, "I don't know." But then they still proceeded to arrest this man, put him in handcuffs, and leave him on the ground face down. They didn't try to administer any first aid or anything. So he was left there to bleed for about 20 minutes until an ambulance came to the scene. That's just ridiculous. That shows that even though you knew that you were in the wrong and you had no reason and no right to do what you have done, you still didn't show any compassion, no feelings of resentment, remorse, or anything. You didn't even try to help him after he was shot, and he's just bleeding in the street. Did they even arrest the autistic man, the man that they supposedly assumed was the threat in this situation? These are questions that you have to ask, and there's no way no one can argue that there's definitely an issue within the police department, which is only a direct reflection of what American society is altogether anyway. But I'm going to leave it there because I'm upset.
True. No, that's a lot of talk. If I could just respond to that. So 2 things where, they pretty much lied. They just lied. That's why it sounds so crazy. But 2 things that we know. We know that officers, it is standard procedure, and this is how they kind of told on themselves a little bit in this situation. You always handcuff a suspect. Always. So if it was an accident, there was no need for them to handcuff him. That's number 1 in this situation. So it's obvious that was his target. And that's what he was shooting at, because then why would you handcuff him if he was not considered to be a suspect at that time?
Right.
And number 2, when we talk about solutions now, and let's talk about that. There's certain protocols that police officers have to follow that in the way they're being trained. And I think this goes back to what we were talking about solutions earlier. I think that we also have to look at, as well as calling our senators and our Congress people, and putting that pressure there. But we're going to have to start looking at what are the procedures that are in place, and how realistic is it that our officers would be able to follow these procedures and still treat someone like a human being. That's the issue.
Right.
So we have to really start looking at these things, because, like I said, if there's a suspect, and I know, and I can talk to South Carolina because I used to work in the Institute of Psychiatry. But it's a law here in the state. So even if somebody has some type of mental illness, the police officers have to transport them in handcuffs. That's a procedure. So they cannot, even if it's a little 5-year-old kid, that 5-year-old kid, if they're being transported by police, have to be cuffed. So when we talk about it, and as we look deeper, we're talking about solutions. I think we have to just tear up the whole thing and look at it, And the second thing, and I'm happy you brought that up, because I will talk about that. A SWAT, to me personally, if you're trained for SWAT, you should not be allowed to answer a normal call. And what I mean by a normal call, a situation where somebody says, oh, this person has something. A SWAT situation is totally different. You're coming in there, you're going in there for the kill shot, there's a hostage situation. You know, there's something major going on. So a SWAT person shouldn't even be in rotation, as far as I feel personally. But once again, that's part of that procedural thing that we have to look at. Then secondly, you know, it may be a thing because typically it's your everyday beat cop who's been shooting people. You know, I'm for having those cops not have non-lethal SWAT. I'm not going to mess with SWAT because that's a whole different situation. But maybe we have to get to a place where these guys don't have lethals. Because if we can't trust them to use good judgment, and for them just to always say, I felt like my life was in danger, or there was a threat, and then for them to be justified by that, then they don't need to have non-lethals. And that's all I want to say about that, to add to what both of you were talking about.
Right, and I'm just going to wrap it up like this. I just had a couple things to mention. I will say this. We're talking about solutions. How can we get past this? Number one, I want to know if not only the police officers can be held accountable for this because of their actions, but also the callers. Who's calling 911 and reporting these bogus stories?
True.
And nothing happens to them. You know, so it's like anybody can make a phone call and say anything, and then they pop on scene already on the aggressive because they're being told misinformation, and that person is just walking scot-free like nothing happened. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Right.
And then
I think it. Can I respond to that real quick before you go ahead? I agree, but I think it's going to be hard to do anything about that because a regular citizen, you don't know if they was lying. You don't know if they really perceive that or not. So I don't think there's really nothing you could do about that. Now, officers is a different case because that's what they're paid to do, to decipher what's going on. But a regular citizen, even if the information is completely wrong, it's going to be hard to prove that they did it purposely.
That's true, but I remember back in the day when we, you know, when you used to be young and dumb, we used to play on the phone and call 911. If the officer came and there was nothing wrong, you would be in trouble for that. So now that all of a sudden we're adults and grown-ups and playing in the real world, there's no type of ramifications. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, but it'd be hard to prove that they were, like, it's the tent, though. Like, I understand what you're saying because if a kid called 911 and nothing wrong, it's easy to say, okay, the kid was playing or whatever. But for an adult, like, could they tell people to call 911 if you think something is wrong? That's the way it's supposed to work and work to train. So, like, a regular civilian, although I understand what you're saying, and I agree to a certain extent, I just don't think you can really do anything about that part right there, personally.
Right. I completely understand, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just annoying that there's nothing much that can really be done down, taking that route. But also, my question is, because it's not only white officers or, because as you can see, even in this case, it was I believe he was of Hispanic descent. And there's even black officers who have done things also. So my thing is like this, is like, oh, okay, well, if you know that these officers hold some sort of obscured view of what a black person is, right, and they somehow have this fear that's unwarranted, what makes it that way? And my suggestion would be the fact that they do not have any interaction, and then also the media plays a large role. So why do we continue to see all these images of ourselves painted in this light and nothing gets done? Like, the media just has a free pass, and they're the ones painting the pictures. Right.
I have so much stuff to say. I'm trying to figure out where to start. The last point you made about the media is great. CNN have been getting the pass for way too long. CNN has been getting too much of a pass. And right now, I'm starting to hate CNN more than Fox News, believe it or not. Because at least Fox News, they don't pretend that they not a right-wing conservative network. And they all but say they racist. They almost, right out there with it, damn near. So with respect for Fox News. But CNN, they try to play, oh, we real journalists, we just down the middle. No, you're not. Because down the middle doesn't mean that everything is equal. It means telling the truth, whatever it is. That's down the middle. So they keep playing dumb. They keep having that one racist cop from the NYPD on. I think his name's Harry Hook or whatever his name is. They brought him back again. Even after he said black people was more dispensed of doing crime or something like that with that debate with Mark Lamont Hill. Right. They brought him back again. He's still on the show. Nothing happened. They never covered that 2006 FBI report when they discussed police issues. Now, what they've been doing is they've been discussing the cops that was killed in Louisiana, and that should be covered, and it's a tragedy. And I would discourage anybody from doing anything like that because I don't think that's the answer either. However, that person, if he wasn't dead, he would have went to jail automatically. The problem is that when a cop do something they're not supposed to do, in most cases they get off. So we've been talking about solutions. We've been talking about cops going to the community more often, interacting with the community. We've been talking about body cameras and all these sorts of things. But my thing is this: we cannot have any solutions if there are no consequences. Okay, you can give them all the body cams they want to, but if it's not mandated, they wear them, what good that's going to do? Like we saw with the Alton Sterling case. They had body cameras. Conveniently, both of their body cameras fell off. Conveniently, right? So luckily we had somebody else filming it. But that's the thing. You can have body cam, even if it doesn't fall off. There have been cases where everything was caught on film, and the cops still get off. With everything caught on film, still get off. Right. So, take the Freddie Gray case, for instance. You can see Freddie Gray was clearly injured before he went into the van. And you don't get a severed spine for no reason. Somehow he just ended up with a severed spine. And according to the judge, none of these cops that have been tried so far is at fault. How could that be? When we saw he was injured before, did he do that to himself? He was hostile, uncompliant. They couldn't do it. It's total bullshit. So even when we see it for ourselves, they still find an excuse to get off. So what would make a cop do anything different? And the other thing is this: we always assume that it's done by accident, right? That's what we assume, or a lot of us, especially the media. If you don't mention that 2006 FBI report, how are we to know which incidents is on purpose and which ones was just a mistake from lack of training? There's no way to decide because you have not addressed the root of the problem. That's the thing. Like, when you don't address the root of the problem is never solved. So until we address that report with the white supremacists infiltrating law enforcement, and we act like it wasn't white supremacists in law enforcement before that. I mean, they've been planting evidence on black people forever. I mean, you got Rodney King, you had stuff in the 70s, the 80s. We all know this, but it's getting even worse now. And it's from the reason why I keep bringing up the 2006 report, because it was a federal government report. So that's their own evidence, but they haven't addressed it. So again, how can we know which is training and which cops are doing this on purpose if you don't address that report? That's my question to y'all.
That's a good question. I'm going to let Nate take that first.
Yeah, no, I think you have to. I mean, you can't do it without addressing the report. But I'm telling you right now, the fact that they haven't addressed that report, see, I look at what people don't do as an indicator of what's really going on. I believe the information in that report is so damning that it would rock our nation. I truly do. And I don't think anybody really want to go there. So what do they try to do? They try to build a house on top of dirt, and then we're going to keep on having these cracks in the area. But nobody wants to address that because I'm telling you, that report is probably off the damn chain. We probably, it would blow our mind It would blow our minds. And to
Well, we need to know that.
American people, they're very at first. They will.
Hey, we can't allow them to do that though. We gonna have to use our megaphone. You know, I don't know how powerful of a person or how powerful an organization this is, but we need to do this. We gotta start it, man. This needs to be a call to action. Seriously, what's in that report and what you gonna do about it? I'm going cause
that's true.
Until we solve that, it's gonna keep being incidents. And what we gonna do? We gonna keep talking about. Of course, we're gonna keep talking about it, but that's all we're gonna do if we don't address that problem. It's probably gonna be something next week, and the week after that, and the week after that.
Can I add this too?
Go ahead, brother.
I hate to interrupt you, but if you notice, because I'm just going back and researching these shootings. So the DOJ, and this is the thing we gotta look at. We're talking about that report. The DOJ for every one of these shootings always send in a team to work with the police department in investigating these situations, right? Or they look at how do they calm down the community where they're going into it. So what I'm telling you, you're right. I agree with you with this FBI report, but you got to understand something. The DOJ is supposed to be there to hold these police agencies accountable, but they're actually coming in there to hold this thing together so it's not anarchy and so people are not being disrupted. So what I'm saying, we're talking about taking on that and getting them to release that report. We got to even look at even the process now of even Trayvon Martin. The DOJ is involved in every situation when a cop is quitting, and we can't get that either.
And this is why we got to put pressure on these politicians, because technically the DOJ is an independent body of the federal government, but we all know that's bullshit. The Attorney General is appointed by the President of the United States. So that right there make it political, even though it's supposed to be of course they get confirmed by, the Senate and stuff, but, the President get to choose who the Attorney General is, and the Senate get to approve it. That's a political position. That's why we got to put pressure on our federal politicians to see what they doing about it. I want a bill craft. And it's not going to happen unless more of us wake up and willing to make those calls. We have to do it. We have to. And of course, we're going to have a better long-term strategy. But for now, that's the only thing I can really think of for now, because, of course, you want to get, the community review boards and stuff like that going. And we should still do that. But again, if you have white supremacists in the police force, why wouldn't they take that risk to harm a black person if they know most likely there's not going to be any consequences for it?
Right.
So that's what we have to go there. We have to. And until we do this, I don't know. I don't think it's going to get any better until we address that fundamental problem right there. That's the foundation of the problem.
Right. And I agree with you, both of you guys, and it's true. Number one, we definitely need to find this information, whether that be the federal stats or statistics from the DOJ, but there's so many different organizations that do these surveys, and they have all the stats out there, but constantly it's like they'll do the surveys, but then no one will know the results of them. They're kept on the hush for whatever reason. So it's we have to do our part by finding out this information and making sure that we bring it to the light, that we blast it out there and let everybody know that this is, we're not making this up. This is extra real. This is our life.
Right.
Also, the second thing, and I believe Sue, you mentioned this, is I think we deserve to know who's part of the KKK. Why isn't the KKK dismantled? And we deserve to know if those people who are there to serve and protect do not have racist tendencies, racist affiliations, And that will be one way to do so. It's not just the KKK. That's just one of the known ones. But there's so many other racist and terrorist organizations in the United States of America who's very active up until this day. Why do we not know who's part of those things? But then they're the ones that, you know, they're part of American society, and it's not like they're just keeping their thoughts in their head. No, they intentionally go out and do things. And then also, if you're working with these type of individuals, they can easily, like, that mentality doesn't just stay within a small group. It spreads, you know. So that I think those two things are very important, and we definitely have to do that.
And we've been talking about this report.
Yeah.
Do y'all mind if I read what's been unclassified in this report real quick? Because it's not very long.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We know we've been, I pulled it up. So we keep talking about it. I want people to get the words directly for them. So this was the report, like I said. It was released October 17th of 2006. And I think, like Brother Nate was saying, that it's not everything. It's just like little blocks. So this intelligent assessment provides an overview of white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement and derives its information from FBI investigations and open source available from 2006. So this is it. And it's very choppy, so bear with me. It just says, although white supremacist groups have historically engaged in strategic efforts to infiltrate and recruit from law enforcement communities, and again, the rest of it is blocked out, the primary threat from infiltration or recruitment arises from the areas of intelligence, collection, and exploitation, which can lead to investigative breaches and can jeopardize the safety of law enforcement sources and personnel. White supremacist presence among law enforcement personnel is a concern due to the access they may provide to restricted areas vulnerable to sabotage and to elected officials or protected persons who they could see as potential targets for violence. The intelligence acquired through the successful infiltration of law enforcement by one white supremacist group can benefit other groups due to the multiple agencies white supremacists typically hold. The assessment examines white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement and perspectives of both strategic information and organized groups and self-initiated infiltration by law enforcement personnel sympathetic to white supremacist causes. The primary threat from infiltration or recruitment arises from the areas of intelligence, and then just going on and on. So it keeps saying the same thing over and over, but it's not really the full report. But that's what we have so far. So, and it's like this is damaging. And again, I'm going to get on the media. The media does not mention this. This is a national security concern.
Right.
I mean, groups like the KKK is a terrorist group. Now,
preach. Call it what it is. Yes.
For real. Like, just think about this. Let's just say ISIS was infiltrating law enforcement. Everybody here would be on fire. You would hear about that every day if it was a report that ISIS was infiltrating law enforcement. But because of us, it's silent. Nah, man. This not going to rock. We not rocking with this no more. We're going to have to shout this every day. If you listen to this program, like I said, make everybody you know aware of it and start flooding these people offices. For real. And I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with it. I think I don't even have no more to say. That's all I could say, really.
Yeah, it gets frustrated. It gets frustrated because it's so evident, it's so apparent. Like, there's nothing that you can argue. This is our reality, and nobody gives a fuck. Like, nobody cares.
Can I add this though to that?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, brother.
This is why I don't. And this is why I know that they're really going to put pressure. And I'm not saying that they won't release the same man, but I really don't think they're going to do it.
Wait, brother, Nate, it's getting a little hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that, brother?
I said, I know it's frustrating, man, but this is one of the things that keep me calm through this situation, and knowing that we do have to get that released, because that's going to start the conversation. But we got to track history, right? We got to go back. Why was the police department started? The police were founded to capture slaves. That's why Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad, she was running away from the cops. That's what she was doing. She was a felon. Let's just keep it real. We have to be honest about this thing. Matter of fact, every great person, when we look at it, has been charged with a felony. You know, Martin Luther King got arrested, Harriet Tubman got arrested, Garvey got arrested, Malcolm X got arrested. So what I'm saying is, we go through this, we have to understand this right here. This is how our justice system was built. There was no prisons before the 13th Amendment was signed. There was no prisons. And that's what people don't know. There was no prisons. After the 13th Amendment, supposed to be the Emancipation Proclamation, that's when you saw prisons came up. They talked about it in the black codes and all of this. So what I'm telling you, what that FBI report is going to show, there is a deep-rooted white supremacy inside of police organizations. And it has been that way since the 13th Amendment has been signed into law. I'm telling you right now, and that's what they know. And I don't know if anybody's really ready to have a conversation about this.
I'm ready. So, and I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is guaranteed to work, but, hey, man, you got to try, man. Like, I always been the type, like, I used to get in fights when I was younger, yo. Like, I'm not that big of a person. Like, I'm not small, but I'm not, like, huge either. I used to fight people that was way bigger than me, and, like, I did not care. I don't want to allow those fights, too. Actually, I won more than I lost. You know, I got skills like that, too. You don't want to test my hand skills, but that's a different story for a different day. That's a different story for a different day, you know. That jag is, you know, if you hungry, you know, I could feed you the right. If you still hungry, you could get the leftover for the left, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's all good. But anyway, that's sidetrack. That's off subject. But my point is, you got to try, man. Like, we're not guaranteed to win, but, hey, man, we just can't keep sitting back and taking this. And I'm looking at realistic solutions. I don't want people to do, you know, with Michael Johnson, Micah Johnson. How you pronounce the name again? Is that it? You know, the guy from Dallas that shot the cops?
Oh, I don't know.
Micah Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Or the guy from Louisiana. I don't want people to start doing that, because really, if we don't address these situations, that just makes the kitchen hotter for the rest of us, really. And you know, the media, what they doing is they trying to do this false equivalency. So now, you know, when a cop get killed, it's just a bigger deal, and it should be a big deal. I'm not saying it's less of a deal. It's sad when anybody get killed, but I keep saying, like, most people are not defending the people that's killing the cops. We say, sure, they should go to jail, and they do go to jail, or they end up dead. Most of the time, they end up dead.
They don't even make it to a jail cell. Hell no.
Right. But when it comes to us, we get no justice. That is the problem. So we gotta fight, man. We gotta fight, and we gotta fight in a constructive way. Man. So that's what it is for me, man. I think I'm done again. I said this for the second time, but I'm done. Miss Baba, you want to add anything to this?
No, don't ask me, because I'm just gonna go on and on. Let's just go to the next one, please.
Yo, we could really probably do a 5-hour show straight just talking about this, but
man,
you know,
I could talk about this for the rest of my life. Like, that's how important and serious this shit is. For real. All right, so now I want to move on. I want to talk about the All-Star game in 2017. Well, you say, Sue, it's not even NBA season. The season haven't even started yet. Why are you talking about the All-Star game? Why? Right.
Because the NBA moved it from Charlotte because of the transgender bathroom law, the restroom law. I want my two co-hosts' thoughts on this, but I'm just going. I guess I express my thoughts first. For me, I'm not mad the NBA moved it. That's not my issue with it. They can have that. That's not even what I'm mad at. What I'm mad at is my brother Nate sent me a little clip of these sisters in the WNBA. And for those of you who don't know, the NBA and the WNBA is ran by the same people. So these sisters been protesting the unjust killings of innocent black people. I guess they was wearing shirts or whatever, and they get fined by the NBA. Now, so hold on. You mean to tell me you support the protest of, the restroom law in North Carolina? And again, that's not even my issue. Like I said, I'm not mad they moved the game from there. I'm not mad at that. It's whatever. I'm kind of indifferent about that issue, so I'm not mad at that at all. Is it a discriminatory law? Sure. If you feel that way, I support whoever want to protest that law. Cool. But don't do that, and in the same week, fine sisters that making their protests about unfair killings of black people. So, you mean to tell me that the restroom law is more important than black people getting killed? Because that's how I'm taking it. And also, who won the NBA championship this year? Yeah, who won it? Cleveland Cavaliers, right?
Oh, Cleveland, yep, Cleveland.
Oh, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, what happened in Cleveland? Did an innocent 12-year-old boy get killed, Tamir Rice?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Now, was there any type of protest? Would the NBA say, okay, maybe we should do this as punishment for, the state of Ohio for basically letting that murderous cop get off with that? Because that cop they always bring up our history, that cop had a terrible record. And we saw the video ourselves. They didn't tell him to freeze. They didn't tell him to put down the weapon. Tamir Rice wasn't pointing the toy gun at them. As soon as they pulled up, they just shot him. No protest from the NBA, nothing. So I have a real problem with this. Now I'm just going to stop because I'm going to go on a rant. So I'm going to stop. Nate, I'll toss this one to you.
Yeah, that's why I sent you that clip, man.
Wait, Brother Nate. Brother Nate, it's a little hard to hear you.
Okay, got me now?
Yeah.
That's why I sent you that clip. And those sisters are from the Minnesota Liberty. So they're actually the team inside Minnesota where, Castiel got shot. And, yeah, they were out there, they're protesting, about wearing their shirts. And the shirts still had Adidas on it, Smart Sisters. They said, hey, we understand this is a business. Adidas is our sponsor. So they had Adidas shirts, but they made, Black Lives Matter on the shirts, and the NBA took exception to that. Now, I would like to tell you, since they posted that video and did that interview, the NBA has come back out and made a statement that they support protests. But those sisters are still fine. So every time that they wear shirts or anything, they're still going to be fine because they're starting to get a little flack. And, please, maybe we can post it somewhere so people can look up that video itself. But those ladies said that, black women make up well over half of the WNBA. And that they should have the right to protest. They should have the right because this issue means something to them. But I take this. So we're moving a whole entire All-Star game from Charlotte. And like I said, I don't care where people go to the restroom. That's not my issue. Whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat.
That's on you.
That's on you. But the fact that the NBA can make a stand like that, and where our lives are continuously being assaulted, they're being killed, okay? We're being killed, murdered. And silence from the issue. And you're right. In Cleveland, and I found it interesting. And I know
you going low again, brother.
I said, I know. We'll probably talk about it a little later. But it was interesting that the RNC convention was inside of an NBA stadium in Cleveland. And nobody brought up Tamir Rice. The whole convention. And so as we continue to look at these things, and, I was talking with someone today, and I said, you know what? We have to start watching these things. Organizations like the NBA, Nike, we got to start watching these people who are quiet on this issue and who's penalizing people for even protesting as professional athletes using their platform, because that's what these young ladies want to do. They want to use their platform because this happened in their city, in their community, to talk about Black Lives Matter. And in that video, they even had to explain that they have family members who are in law enforcement. So this is not about not supporting law enforcement. This is about supporting that Black Lives Matter too, and that something has to be changed. But yeah, they're going to be fine. And every time they step out with those T-shirts, they're going to be fine. But I think they're going to continue to wear them. That's what they said today. So, I just tossed that to you, Ms. Bob. I don't know what you think about that.
Right. You know what? I'm going to follow up like this, and I have a question, a serious question. I know it's going to sound funny, but I'm dead ass serious. Is there anything lower than shit?
I don't know.
That's pretty much as low as it can get. Like, shit, right? So you mean to tell me it's okay to protest against an issue that is very serious within the LGBTQ community, as I stated many times prior, that I am a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. But you mean to tell me that standing up for where someone sits is more important than standing up for someone who has lost their life for no reason?
Yeah.
Like, that's what this story kind of tells me. Like, we're lower than shit. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, are you serious?
Yeah,
like, people are actually dead.
Wow.
People are killed. People have lost life. They're no longer breathing. They are no longer a part of our world because of unnecessary murder. And that's not as important as where somebody decides to peace. Like, are you serious? Like, that shit is crazy. Like, that shit literally is crazy. But
yeah.
It's crazy because I know that Brother Nate mentioned that they came out and they stated, they support them or what have you for wearing their shirts. But then at the end of the day, they're still fined. That's crazy. I'd rather them support through action. You don't even have to say nothing. I'm tired of listening to words come out of these people's mouths. I just want to see action. You don't have to speak on it. You don't have to say anything. I'd rather you let your actions speak for you. And by doing so, you can go ahead and, number one, not fine people for doing what's right. Not fine people for taking a stance out against something that's completely horrible that is happening amongst their own community. And the last thing I want to say is, I'm not against the whole All Lives Matter movement all the way. But my question is, where is All Lives Matter when things like this happen? Because they say everyone is equal, right? We all should, stop being so divisive. Okay, so let's not be divisive. Let's all fall under that All Lives Matter umbrella. But where are you? You just throwing a hashtag, but you don't ever say anything when things specifically happen to black people. And that's why Black Lives Matter is so relevant and it's not going anywhere. Right.
And where are those feminist groups too? Those white feminist groups? Because
that is a good question.
Because think about it like this. WNBA players don't get paid that much money. So it's not like finding LeBron James or Steph Curry. Like, they get fined, or even like in the NFL, Marshawn Lynch, they get paid millions of dollars a year. So they can kind of eat those fines. WNBA players don't get paid that much. So finding them really hurts. So again, we got to salute.
I'm curious, how much do they get paid?
I don't know. I think the top line players, man, I'm not even sure they make six figures. Nate, do you know? I'm not even sure they make six figures.
I will look it up now.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, because, you know, the league is really not that popular. You know, I actually think women's college basketball is more popular than the WNBA. You know, so, yeah, women's college basketball is more popular than WNBA. So a lot of these sisters really not getting paid that much money. Like, I think maybe some of you that got paid.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now, and I'm looking at it now, and the average WNBA salary is right at $107,000 a year, which, like you said, is not much at all. And there was an entire team. They're looking at it. According to 2010 salary for an entire team, a WNBA whole team, and this is 15 ladies on the team, was $827,000 for the whole team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. Crazy. Is that, you know what? They'll be okay, because once Trump makes it to office, he'll be the first one to make sure that they get equal pay, right?
Yeah.
According to his daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah. And you know what? We got to support these sisters and people that do stuff like that, man. Like, you know, Darren Wilson, if he could get, you know, was it a GoFundMe made for him that got, what, like maybe 7 figures, 6-7 figures? Man, we can, we create a GoFundMe and pay these sisters fines for doing something. You know what I'm saying? Because, like we said, they not getting paid that much. Yeah, they not getting paid millions of dollars like the regular NBA players. They making the stands, man. I don't want to see these sisters lose money. I really don't.
Right.
But you got to respect them that they willing to lose the money and willing to get fined to stand on principle. And you got to support people like that. And let me just say this too. This is the reason why a lot of athletes don't speak on issues. Because when they do, they lose money and they feel like they got family and all that, which I understand. I know some athletes give behind the scenes to certain causes but don't want to say nothing because of stuff like this. But when they are brave enough to actually, you know, give money, put their money up and speak on it, you know, we definitely got to support them.
I agree with you wholeheartely.
Yeah, so we gotta look into that, see what we can do about that. So,
yeah, I think that's that's a big issue. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Thank you for bringing it up. I didn't even think about the money aspect of that they don't make. I didn't realize that they made so much less. And you're talking about where? Oh yeah. So all 3 teams. So they were fined. The teams, so they fined the team $5,000. So the team was fined, which the owner has to pay $5,000, and the players were fined $500 for violating the league's uniform color. But anyway, going back to what I said, I didn't think about the financial aspect of this. Because if you think about it now, when we're talking about the NBA where the men play, and those guys got to step up and talk about this. Because most of their sisters play in the WNBA. But you're talking about people getting max deals of $118 million. LeBron James is making close to $50 million a year. And that's just his contract. Max deal. Kobe Bryant last year made $50 million for 1 year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's a bigger issue. Yep.
Yeah, man.
You know what? Let
right.
me take this opportunity to get on my black feminist shit real quick, because
Go for it.
at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all for a little second. Well, I'm real all the time, but I'm about to get extra in y'all ass, because I'm just like, here we are again, as always, and we will never stop. But black females have always stuck by our black men, and what they're doing is even more important than I've seen a lot of even the black male NBA players do.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and they're taking a hit for it, and I commend them. But at the end of the day, we're still, black females, we're still looked at as the bottom of the totem pole. Like, where is our support? We just have to continuously be strong and just continuously take it. Meanwhile, y'all turn around and want to call us bitches and hoes and blah, blah, blah. Are you kidding me? We need to put an end to all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because we've always been the ones to support y'all. Always. Even when the world hates y'all. We're the ones that lift y'all up. We're the ones that empower you. We're the ones that consistently remain in your corner and become martyrs. And I'm not making anything light of it, but I'm just saying it's a fact. So make sure that you take care of your black queens out there. Like, we are, we out here getting it. But I feel like a lot of times that support is not reciprocated. So it would be nice to see that reciprocation,
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And yeah, I think that's something we're gonna touch on very soon. Just the, black men, black women issue. As a matter of fact, the writing show we're doing this week, topic is on black love. So I think we might get into that a little bit then as well. But yeah, the passionate statement and a lot of good points in that. Ms. Bob, did you have anything else you wanted to add to the subject before we table it?
Brother Sue, don't ask me if I have more. I always got more. I'm going to keep it moving now.
Okay, cool. How about you, Brother Nate?
No, this is eye-opening for me.
Yeah. Again, shout out to those sisters, man. Shouts out to them, man. And support them.
Yeah.
Definitely support them.
Yes.
I just want to
all right.
One part. I just looked it up right here, but this goes to what Ms. Baba was saying. The WNBA is 90% African American. Just want to put that out there.
Crazy.
Yep.
Right. Crazy. And I think the regular NBA is what, like 70-something% black as well.
Yeah.
So the NBA then did something by doing that, man. I don't understand. So
yeah,
I think
stop making money for motherfuckers that don't give two flying F's about you. At the end of the day.
Hey, Baba, we have a caller. Do you want to take him?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let's take it.
All right.
Hey.
Calling you on Always for Black Radio.
Yes, I'm listening to your show. Great show. What do you think about the controversy that's happening today with the DNC Wikipedia thing that's coming out, that they basically from last year they knew that Hillary Clinton was going to be the nomination and everything that's coming all out. And basically the person of Bernie Sanders had no choice, basically the election was done.
Oh, man, that's perfect timing. We was actually moving on to that subject. We was going to talk about the RNC a little bit first, but yeah. For those you don't know, yes, it was leaked emails from the DNC that came out. And basically, my opinion on it, caller, did it tell you something you didn't already know? I think we already knew that the DNC...
Yeah, but when you have it confirmed, now they can't even... Before it was like, yeah, maybe. But now you have proof that it's done?
Right.
Wow.
It just makes you feel that you were justifying your thoughts. But, yeah, I think we all knew, because the head of DNC, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, she was a Hillary supporter even back in 2008. And, it was not going to be Bernie Sanders. I had some problems with some of the stuff Bernie Sanders did. I didn't agree with everything, but I would have much preferred him over Hillary Clinton. And he didn't get a fair shake. And we knew that he wasn't going to get a fair shake. from the start. So
yeah, especially when you have super delegate, you didn't even start the thing. And when the election start, already 1,000 whatever super delegate, and we didn't even start the vote. I was like, what the hell is this?
Now, Calder, I want to ask you something. Since the DNC convention is this coming week, what do you think the Bernie Sanders supporters should do? Do you think they should protest? Should they try to,
they should protest.
Challenge?
They should challenge it, and they should say, you know what, if you're not going to take us serious, then I think the DNC people, the people of Bernie Sanders should vote for Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
I don't agree with you there, brother.
I'm not going to elect a person who the FBI told you. If it was me, you, anybody in your radio show, would have been fired the next day. I work in an IBM security place. If I would have done just one thing that she did, the next day my boss would have come to me and said, "Take your shit, take your stuff, you're fired."
Right. I don't disagree with that part, but I'm curious. Why do you think they should vote for Donald Trump? I'm kind of lost at that.
Because
part,
who are you going to vote for? You're not going to vote for Hillary. You can't trust her.
Why?
She basically showed you that basically there was nothing. So who are you going to vote for? You're not going to vote. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, I don't like Hillary either, but Donald Trump is a known white supremacist. So why would he vote for a known white supremacist?
I don't agree with that. How could he be a white supremacist and he owns billions of companies and everything, and he hired so many people?
How do you not agree with that statement? I'm just curious. How do you not see that Donald
Trump
is a white supremacist?
I've listened to his speech. I've listened to many of his speech. I've listened to what he said yesterday when he said, "I'm going to tell you the truth." And what he said, I just want to go to the fact. What he said was the truth. What he said about us being the police of the world, that's the truth. If you go to, I know family from around the world tell us, stop being the police of the world. I know some family from different family and everything. When 9/11 happened, I wanted to know as an American, why did you attack us? So I went to my Muslim friend, and my Muslim said, "You don't want to hear the truth, Stanley." And I said, "No, I want to be humble enough to sit down with you and please tell me the truth." When he told me the truth of what us as Americans has done to this country, I was ashamed to becoming an American when I heard what he did.
Okay, so you don't have a problem when he encouraged his supporters to punch black people in the face during his rally in North Carolina, and he would pay for his jail bill? There was no problem with that?
No, I think that was wrong, but I have a problem when we're saying that the people who are against him. You don't have any problem when the people who are against him are throwing eggs to the people who believe in Trump and basically bustle them and almost try to kill him. You don't have any problem.
Well, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Because you haven't been listening. Okay, let me just say this real quick. You haven't been listening to the show. Never once have we supported that. So please don't put words in our mouth.
Exactly. I don't support that.
Quote me or quote Miss Baba or quote Nate when we ever supported that.
Exactly.
That's just a big.
That's what I say.
Exactly what? What do you mean exactly?
No, I agree with you. I'm sure you don't support it. So you think I would support somebody who?
But that's not what you said. No, but that's not what you said. You said you don't have a problem. So that you affirm that I do support that.
I don't have a problem. No, I said I'm against what he said. That was a mistake. If you're what you said and everything.
No, but after that, you said you don't have a problem with his supporters when people against him throwing eggs at him. You said you.
No. I said
after that.
You have a problem when people who are against Donald Trump go and take eggs and throw it to the people who believe in Donald Trump. That's what happened. That's what question I wanted.
But go ahead, Nate. Ask your question.
Yeah.
That was the question. You said you have a problem with that. So I have a problem with what he said and everything. But as being honest, who's more honest? Do you think Hillary Clinton is more honest than Donald Trump?
Neither of them. And I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump.
This is my question.
So what did Donald Trump lie about? Please show me in the government
Nate,
what he lied about.
Nate, it's kind of hard to hear.
Ask your question, brother.
Yeah, so this is my question to the caller. What does Donald Trump mean? And maybe you can help me out. When he said "Make America Great Again," what does that mean?
When he said "Make America," let's first go to the military. We have how many military around the world? And basically, we're defending the rest of the world. We're being the police of the rest of the world. And all this military and all the money that we're putting in the military around the world, none of this money people around the world are paying us to defend them. Do you know that?
Yeah, but what make you think Trump is going in debt?
No, but I'm asking him, do you know that instead of putting all that money in America and making our school better, making our road better, making a lot of things better, we're spending all that money to defend the rest of the world. What's wrong with defending? We're making sure that our country is the best first before trying to be the best of the rest of the world.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with
with that.
But is that what make America great again?
Yes, that's what we think we're trying to be the police of the world. How many times we did interfere in many things around the world that we didn't need to?
Okay, so to the caller, I do have one question, and I'm going to leave it here. Okay, so you're saying that means everything that you stated means that we're going to make America great again. But give me a time frame when that was the case. Tell me exactly what era or period in history that you're referring to when you say make America great again. Where are we trying to go?
Well, I would think that if we're trying to bring America great, the plan that he wants to do is basically bring all the military and stop being the police of the world and basically bring all that money back to America and basically say, what are we going to do
I understand
with this money?
that. That wasn't my question. Don't skirt around the question. My question is, give me a time frame in American history when that was exactly what was going on. What time frame? You say make America great again, meaning that there was a time frame that you're referring to. So what time frame
I think that a lot of people would tell you, I think a lot of people would tell you the 1950 America was a lot better than compared to now. Except the only thing that I would say that was wrong. The only thing that I would say.
Let's not act like America is squeaky clean.
No,
because if you knew American history,
wait up, man.
Hold up.
America on this soil.
Man, let me add something. I just want to add something. 1950, 1960, the only thing that was wrong during that time is that the way we were treating black people was awful.
You say the only thing as if that's not enough. We are American citizens who have been brought here.
All that
you say the only thing like it's something small.
But
I'm not saying it's something small. I said that was the only thing
but
as
the way
Americans
that
we should have never gone
No. I'm not. No. First and foremost, I would not sit here and have you say that's the only thing, as if it's something small, like we can just move past.
It's not something small. I'm a black man. It's not something small. It is not something small. As a black man, I'm telling you.
Enough. That should be enough.
No, it's not something
exactly
small.
My point. I'm not willing to go back to the 1950s, 1960s.
Yeah, but
we think that we wait. Those times today. Why would I?
Okay, but let me ask you a question. If in the 1960s, 1950s, we go back to that and we give you the civil right that you have now as black people, please tell me what's the problem.
First of all, it's
social justice.
No, civil right. I'm saying that you're able to do whatever you have to do now in 2016, and we give you the same right as black people as the same right as white people.
We're still not able to do those things. We're still not able to do those things. Just because
why are
there's
we not
a law and mandates in place
why
does
are we
not
not
mean
equal?
that we're given. No, listen. Let me be very clear, and I'm going to lower my tone. Now, just because there's a law and legislation in place does not necessarily mean that that those laws are upheld in any way, and that's what our issue is. So don't tell me that 1950s and 1960s is a great time for us to go back to. That's a horrible time in history. And you should think more so of your black counterparts than just that was the only thing that was wrong. Don't miss me with that shit. I'm sorry.
I'm asking you, what do you need that as black people in 2016 you don't feel as equal as a white person?
Have you been listening to the show?
Yes, I've been listening to I'm listening to what she said.
I mean, that's your answer right there.
Okay. Can I answer that real quick?
Go ahead.
We would need political power, number one. Number two, we would need a fair and equal education system. We would need banks and all other organizations to stop profiling us. We would need the housing market to stop redlining us. We would need for officers to kill unarmed black people. That needs to be stopped. They need to be held accountable. There's so many things that I can.
Okay. Can we go step by step? Number one, you said we would need political power. Isn't those the black people responsible for voting at I say 80, 90% for basically always Democrats. If we wanted to have political power, wouldn't it be our responsibility to go to those people and say, you know what, before we give our vote, we as black people want this change. If you do not do this change, you will not get our vote. Please tell me as black people if we've done that. We don't. That's why Obama did that thing for us. What did Obama did for the black people? Please tell me.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to table this because you go on there, you just bringing up everything and throwing it against the wall. Hold on, brother.
She said we needed to have political power.
Hold on, brother.
Go ahead.
All right. So, because this guy was just gonna keep throwing stuff against the wall. I might bring him back on if y'all want to later. But he changed the subject to Obama. Obama wasn't the issue. He said so many things. I was going to go there, but Miss Baba, you handled your business. But I wanted to answer. He just keeps throwing stuff. I wanted to answer. He said, "When did Trump lie?" That was one of the things he said. I was going to try to answer that question right there. Trump University. He said he was against the Iraq War, and he wasn't. He said that, I was against the war from the start. No, when the war was going on, he said no such things. He was on Howard Stern. He said, I guess it's a good idea. He didn't stand up against the Iraq war. That was a pure lie. He said he didn't support the war in Libya. Pure lie. In Libya, it's documented that he supported. He said getting rid of Gaddafi was going to be easy. So that's just a few. Every word he says is a lie. He's a pathological liar. When did he lie? That's one thing. Go ahead, brother.
Can I add this? Ms. Baba, you did your thing. You know what? I do appreciate that caller calling in to give us his perspective. But I think that, and definitely you can invite him back later, and especially if he's still listening. I think that this is what we have to be careful of. I really do, because, I believe he's a Trump supporter, and he's fine. It's his constitutional right. If he's a Trump supporter, fine. I have no problem with that. But don't try to tie us in with the DNC and bring up the DNC and this and that, and especially when you make a statement about in the 50s and 60s, the only thing that was wrong about how they treated black people. Like, we can't even have – no, I'm sorry. We can't really have a conversation. Now, I would like to tell you, and thank you for that caller calling in, and it's good that people are listening. This is why I'm happy to the both of you, Brother Sue and Ms. Baba. I'm happy that y'all started this show, because we have to continue to educate people. Because, and maybe that's because we have to talk about the 60s and 50s and how did that look. Maybe people forgot. I don't know. But for somebody to make that statement, and then to not even really address what does making America great again mean? That to me, and that's why I just asked that question. What does that mean? How does that look? And even Donald Trump can't even answer that question. He don't even know what to say.
It's a cold word. That's what it is.
It's a dog
the
whistle. That's what it is.
It's back to the Southern strategy, which the Republicans admitted they did in the early 2000s. They actually apologized for it, although they're still using it. Now, I'm going to leave the decision up to y'all. Do you want to bring the caller back, or do you just want to say be done with it? I'll leave it up to y'all.
I think it's important to have different perspectives.
Caller.
So I'm willing to have a conversation.
Caller. All right, caller, you back on the air. You there?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going, because what we was doing last time, you were just throwing out so many stuff. Let's take it point by point, and, let's really do it like that. So.
Okay, can we go to what the woman just said, that basically as black people we would need to have political power. Let's take that one. I agree with her with that. But to have political power, like she said, and we as black people are basically 80% voting Democrat, don't you think as black people we should go to Democrat, or we decide to vote Republican, and tell them, if you want to get our vote, this needs to be solved. If you do not do those things, we will not vote for you, and we'll stay home. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
We
agree
said that
too.
multiple things. We said that on multiple times. Yes, we agree with that. We don't support the Democratic Party here. We actually we've been saying that we need to go to both parties and basically force them to address our issues. That's what we want.
And I agree with you with that. But as it's black people doing that, that's to answer her question when she said we need to have political power. We do have political power. We're not using it.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe with that one. You're right. We're not using it per se, and I get what you're saying, but we got to talk about the history, and as you talked about what happened in the 50s and 60s. Now, we're talking about segregation, we're talking Jim Crow, we're talking about all of these things. We're not that far away from that time period. So it's like we can't look at history in a glass and say, oh, y'all got this political power, and oh, you're ready, and you can do all this stuff. These are things that we have to develop because everybody else has a head start as a group of people on us while we're talking about political power and political issues. So I don't necessarily agree with that, what you just said, but I do believe that that's the direction that we're heading in now because we do have to hold people accountable.
Same thing. Another question. Go to any black person. I'm in New York. Go to any person in black person. Tell them, please tell me who's your mayor. Tell me who's responsible for who's your person who's responsible in your country, in your
Let's be fair. Let's be fair with your question, because it's not only black people that may not know that information. America as
I'm
does
not
know
saying.
that
I'm taking
don't
your
try to
example.
no. Because
Go
I
ahead.
just want to make it clear because the way that you posed your question is very offensive to me because you're just going to point out the fact that mainly black people do not know this information. But let me tell you something. Most of America does not know this information. So don't try to pull up cards or tricks out of your bag and not.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Know that information as well.
Let me make something perfectly.
Let's just be clear about that.
Something perfectly clear. Let me make something. There are some black people who knows a lot more about politics than some white people, and there are some white people who are total email who doesn't know nothing. I am focusing what you just said to the only black people. So if I'm focusing only black people, can we stop going back and say, but they're not the only one, there are some white people. Can we focus on the black people because that's what you focused on when you went to your list.
Right.
So when I'm saying that, I'm not saying offending black people because I know some black people who have no more knowledge than some white people. Period. Let's make this completely clear. But like I'm saying, if we want to have a policeman doing the right thing and everything, instead of protesting and everything, when was the last time as black people we basically say, you know what, we're not going to protest, we're going to respect the law, we're going to follow what the policeman does and everything, and we're going to bring you to court if you do something wrong.
Did you say when was the last time?
I know. I'm not saying.
When was the last time?
I know we did it last time. It didn't work, but I agree. I agree with you.
I let you rock. I let you speak. I let you rock. So we had a story just this past Monday with Charles Kinsey, a 47-year-old unarmed, compliant, unarmed black male. He laid himself on the ground and with his hands up. And somehow, some way, he got shot. And the police officer stated that he wasn't even the target. He stated that he felt that Kinsey's life was in danger by his autistic patient, which was not the case at all. But somehow, some way, he still ended up getting shot. And this is a man that is a behavioral therapist. He got word that his client was out in the street with his white toy truck. And a caller called in to 911 and stated that he had a gun. That the autistic man with the white truck, it was a gun. Right? Police officers come to the scene. They see the situation. They assess the situation. And in the officer's words, he stated that it was the autistic man that was the target, who was sitting upright and all that. But somehow you let off 3 shots and not one hit your target, which was big as fuck. But you hit the guy that's compliant and laying down with his hands in the air. talking about right there.
What happened? What happened after that act happened? Did you see what happened?
You know what happened?
Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? What was the consequence? What was the consequence of what you just said? First of all, the police officer that basically got suspended. Wait, ma'am. I listened to what you said. Let's go through what happened. The police officer that got shot got suspended. The captain that was basically trying to cover it up. The attorney general of that case said, you're not covering up the thing and everything, got suspended. That's what happened after. Did you forget about that?
No, I didn't forget about that. I did not forget about that. What I'm stating is the officer is still in point.
I know, but that you say was...
Hey, caller.
You will watch this and you will see that no criminal charges will be held against him, even though he shot the man for no reason. And that's the story, and that's statistic. I'm not pulling that out of my ass. That's statistic.
No, I agree with what you say.
Anytime an officer does something wrong, and in this case, thank God the guy is still alive. But in so many cases, there's instances where a black unarmed male is killed.
Okay.
You understand? So in those instances, no criminal charges are ever brought to the officer. Why is that?
But in that case,
as a Donald Trump supporter, do you think Donald Trump will do anything to support our cause?
Yes.
To support?
Yes.
You honestly believe that
Donald Trump has never been a politician. Go ahead.
What does that have to do with anything?
So let me ask you this. As an American citizen, all right? So, what policies has Trump stated that he'll actually do something about this problem about police brutality and monitoring lynching? What policies has Trump put in place?
He didn't state any policy yet. Wait. He didn't say. Can I answer your question? He didn't state any policy yet, but I have more confidence on him. I agree 100% on him when it comes to foreign policy of what he said. I'm sick of us being the police of the world. That's something I agree 200% on what he said.
For his foreign policy? And that's
I agree. Yes, I agree 200% that as America, we are responsible for what happened around the world many times. Because if we would have been humble and go to Muslim and tell them, please explain to me why 9/11 happened, and just listen, and they'll tell you without you coming back and saying, oh, well, we didn't want to do that, and they would tell you how many times we were responsible for dropping bombs in their country, how many times we were responsible for doing this, how many times. Did you know that Saddam Hussein and bin Laden was working for us? Did you know that?
Yes, we know that. But caller.
Let me just say this.
What party was it? What party?
No,
we're not. What party?
I said that.
Who was the president during 9/11? Who was the president during 9/11?
No, it was George Bush. I was wrong in everything. I just.
Okay. So the only reason why I want to go here, when you're talking about Donald Trump and George W. Bush, I'm being honest. It's different because George W. Bush was a politician. I give to Donald Trump. He's never been a politician before. You know, that's one of the things that appeal to people. But a lot of the same rhetoric is the same rhetoric that George W. Bush.
No, it's not. Donald Trump doesn't believe that America.
So how does Donald Trump
doesn't believe that America should be the police of the world?
What did he say?
Well, he said it. He said America should have never be the police of the world. America should have never basically put every army possible around the world. How come we've done that?
So
and that's a great
question then, because it seems, your question is really great. But let me ask you this. You're more concerned about our part in, America's role in foreign affairs, but you show no interest in what's happening here on American soil if you're talking about make America great again.
Because the reason I'm concerned about a foreign policy, if other countries around the world hate us and basically are ready to basically bring a plane and basically make it explode or bring people radical and almost trying to kill us, we have to ask ourselves why. There's a reason why.
Okay, So let me ask you, who's us? Who do you include in that us? Because obviously
Well,
it's not black people,
it's us
because
as
we're getting
Americans
killed
that
on
voted.
American
It's
soil
us
every
as
day.
Americans.
But that's not a problem
It's
to you,
us
because you
as
think we can go
Americans.
back to
Wait,
the 1950s
I'm
and
asking
60s.
you.
Okay.
I'm answering your question. It's us as Americans that decided to vote to have those people become government. Those people who become government decide to have war and things like that against us. We didn't have a part of it and everything because we didn't make the final decision. But the government that we voted on, it's us that decided to have those people.
Caller, let me just talk to you for a second, because this is what I don't like when we go every which way. Now, we addressed the foreign policy situation. Like, he was for the war in Iraq. He lied about that. He was for Libya. But I don't even want to get into that. Let's rewind it all the way back before we start getting to foreign policy. Now, you said that he would change stuff for black people with law enforcement, right? That's your opinion?
I think so. Go ahead.
You think so? Did you watch the Republican National Committee convention last week?
Did I watch when the Republican was doing
the Republican convention last week?
Yes, I watched it. I watched the final speech. I watched what he said and everything. I didn't like what Ted Cruz did, but go ahead.
Okay. In that whole convention, including Trump's speech, when did any of the Republicans, including Trump, propose anything to help with this situation? The only thing I heard was officers and protecting police. That's the only thing I heard. Matter of fact, I heard when Alton Sterling family was brought up, I heard the RNC crowd boo. So, so
mind you,
that whole convention,
the RNC was held in Cleveland, like we stated earlier. It was held in Cleveland, where young Tamir Rice had died. No one brought that up.
Right,
and he's an American.
Yeah, and caller. So they just had an opportunity to propose or say anything about helping relations between the black community and police, and they did no such thing. So what makes you think, again, that Trump would do anything about this?
Well, okay,
and don't
please don't bring up
Hillary Clinton either. We're just talking specifically
I'm not
about
bringing
Trump.
Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump said basically he's going to be for the law because he believed that if you attack a policeman, you're basically against the law. You're basically against the law of the nation. If you're against the law of the nation, there should be consequence. I do agree with that. I think black people, we basically have tendency that if a policeman comes to you, especially, we have an example, like you said, that black person that basically opened his eye and did what he did and everything, obeyed the law and still got shot, there's consequence of the policeman. But as black people, when a policeman is coming to you and said, put your hands up, stay down, we have tendency as
caller.
I
can't allow you to do this. I'm sorry, you're not answering the question. I don't want to. I don't want to hold lecture specifically. What is Donald Trump?
Give a police officer the right to show
not even.
He does not become an executor because someone didn't follow their
The thing I heard of the speech, Donald Trump specifically said, I am going to be for the law. So any consequence of people against the law and everything, there's going to be consequence. That's what I heard. He didn't go to specifics like you said. He didn't propose a plan, but he is he's saying those things of killing cops has to stop.
So you're a supporter of rhetoric and words, and that's it, and no action, because as you stated,
he didn't come with a plan, and I agree. He didn't come with a plan.
He doesn't. So how do you support someone who has no plan? You don't even know what his plan is. All you know is the rhetoric that he's spewing.
Because
he has no policy. What policy?
Because we are not done with the election yet. Wait, we're not done with the thing. He doesn't have to come with a plan on the day of the RNC. You're going to see the same thing with the Democrats.
If you're trying to get my vote, you have to have a plan.
No, not in the RNC. Not in the RNC.
You have to have some sort of plan and strategy.
Not in the RNC. You don't. He didn't come with that either. He has to do it. You think in the debate he's not going to be asked this question? So, Mr. Trump, you said that you're going to be the person of the police.
Even before the RNC, I understand
he doesn't
making his statement. But even before the RNC, has he come up with any policies? No. He has not stated how he's going to do any of these things. All he continues to do is just spew hatred, and that's it.
He didn't feel any hatred. He just said the truth of what he feels. A lot of Americans feel it. If you're going to tell me that he didn't come with any policy, please show me the policy of Hillary Clinton.
Okay, caller. Okay. We getting off subject again. Like I just said, we talking about Trump right now. We already established we're not Hillary Clinton supporters. So let's stay focused. We going all over the place. I'm asking direct questions, and I want direct answers. All right? Can we establish that, please? All right. So, again, I asked you specifically the whole convention, not just Trump, but the whole RNC convention. Not one Republican came up with any policy to help better the relationship between the community and the cops.
Yeah, no.
In a matter of fact, hold up. In a matter of fact, they blamed basically the black community.
They didn't blame the black. Which person blamed the black? Which person blamed the black community? Not Donald Trump didn't blame the black community. He said that the police getting shot.
Hold up. I said last week they blamed the black community. They blamed Black Lives Matter. They said that all last week. They even brought up because this is what they do. They brought up black people, black preachers in the RNC to state these things. Did you not see those black preachers up there?
Yeah, some of the black people doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, and it's not just about Black Lives.
What is Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter is basically saying that black people.
Hold up. We're not doing that, caller. We not getting off subject because you good. You like going to other places. We gonna keep it right here.
I'm going to what you're saying.
No.
You're saying.
No. We talking about policy too. We talking about not one set of policy been proposed by the Republicans, including Donald Trump. And what do law and order? You already explained what you think the law and order mean, that we can't kill cops. So what in that? Of course, I think any common person with common sense will agree with that. Any person with common sense will agree with that. But what is he proposing that is going to better relations between the community and law enforcement? I keep going back to that. You already said is none. So why should black people vote for Donald Trump?
Because at least he's telling some stuff that he truly believes in, and then he's going to come with a policy of saying how he's going to do those things. You think that basically during the time that I'm not going to ask him. So, Mr. Trump, you said that you were going to be the like you said, you are law and order. What do you mean? What is your plan? What is it? You think he's not going to say that?
And he's a pathological liar. Who cares?
Okay, so we shouldn't care. So basically the election now.
No, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by that.
Liars and everything is. We should basically say it's over. Let's not vote anything in the election. We have two practical liars. That's what you're saying. We have
I'm actually voting third party.
Trump was a liar.
Caller, I've actually voted for a third party. I actually voted for Jill Stein personally. But let's keep it here with Donald Trump. What I mean is you can't trust anything he says. You still haven't addressed.
Okay.
You still hold up. You still haven't addressed. You keep talking about foreign policy too, but you still haven't addressed it either. You said that you like his foreign policy, and I guess you were against American expansion in foreign policy, correct?
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yes.
So it doesn't bother you that Donald Trump lied about being against the Iraq War? That doesn't bother you?
No, because it doesn't bother me that he was maybe for the Iraq War and they realized in there, hey, I made a mistake, it was wrong. At least he has the audacity and the honesty to say it was wrong.
So did Hillary Clinton. She said it was wrong, too.
No, Hillary Clinton never said it was wrong.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Never,
yes, she did.
Never.
Hold on.
She never said it was wrong.
Caller, she actually did say that was the wrong decision. Now, do I believe that? Does she mean that? That's a different story. And I don't like Hillary Clinton. I think the only reason she did that was because she got pressure from the left, especially from the Bernie Sanders supporters. But she also said it was a mistake. What Trump did, he outright lied and said that he was against it from the beginning. Until tape surfaced, that was a pure lie. And also Libya, too. It doesn't bother you in Libya. He said that he claimed that he was against the war, not the war, but the strikes in Libya, take Gaddafi out, but it's quotes going back to '09 that he was for it. So that doesn't bother you, and why do you believe anything he says?
Let me get this straight. So you never thought about something in 2008, 2010, whatever time you are. Let's say 20 years ago, you thought about something that you thought was right, and then 20 years later, you found out it's not right and everything. Does that make you liable for something you said 20 years ago?
But no, that's not the issue. The issue is he outright lied about it. He did. Hold, caller. We try to have a civil discussion. Remember, this is our show, not yours. So we're going to talk about this civilly. Okay, so let me finish. That's not the issue. The issue is he outright lied. He didn't say he changed his mind in Iraq. He said that he was against it from the start, which is an outright lie. That's not saying that you changed your mind. Again, that does not bother you.
No, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't.
Okay.
Because at least he's being honest at least he's being honest when it comes to foreign policy, and he's saying something that I've heard no politician
Hold on. Brother. Did you just say that his lying don't bother you because at least he's being honest about foreign policy?
Doesn't bother me. His lying of what he said doesn't bother me because I'm listening to what he says today, and today he's telling you what we did as a policy around the world was wrong.
Right.
Today he's telling you those things.
Okay, so but this is my question for you. That's this today. But what he's going to say tomorrow?
He's going to keep on saying the thing that he believes in, and I think he believes in what he just said.
But how can you tell when he lied?
By the way, he's the only one who said 2 days ago that NATO was wrong. He's the only one that said, hey, did you see the media when he went against that? How the media reacted when he said, maybe bringing army and NATO and everything around the world, we should maybe have the other country pay for it. Did you see how the media reacted? Please show me a politician who said that. Please do.
Again, that's not the issue, caller.
That is that is one thing
brother,
that
it's not.
Said.
Brother, you got to listen.
That's not an issue.
Brother,
that's not an issue.
Brother,
okay.
Mute. Okay, I have to meet you, brother. I'll bring you back on, but again, you get too excited. You gotta answer questions directly. All right, you back on. Okay, that's not the issue. The root issue is not his policies, but do you believe anything he's going to say? Because he's a pathological liar.
Yes,
what about Trump University?
Yes.
The scam.
I believe in what he said. Trump University has not been proven guilty yet, by the way.
You don't think that's a scam?
No. Is Trump University been so guilty? Is Trump, and let me ask you a question, is Trump University been found guilty? Yes or no? By the court of law?
Oh, not yet, but it's in trial. But we're not even talking about that. Hold up.
Wait. Let's go step by step, like you're saying. Let's go step by step. Is it not true that we live in a country that until you've been proven guilty, you're innocent?
Oh, brother, that's not the brother. You good at trying to change the subject. That's not the issue.
I'm not changing the subject.
Brother, mute.
Go ahead.
Mute. Okay. Again, that's not the issue. There's a lot of things that are legal that is ethically wrong. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. But you brought the
what the banks did. Hold up. What the banks did to crash the economy in 2008, a lot of it was technically legal, but that doesn't make it right.
Which part? No, it wasn't.
And in the court, and in the court of law, too. You keep bringing up the court of law. Have you been found guilty? Yes, it's going to go into a civil suit, and we're going to see what happens. But that doesn't concern you at all. So you're just saying, okay, he wasn't found guilty.
Yeah,
doesn't matter that
I'm waiting for the facts and everything until it comes out, and until you show me. If you tomorrow show me, Stanley, here's the proof. We have a guilty conscience on university. That I said, damn, you're right. Until that happens.
Okay. Well, I see that it's going to be no convincing your mind, brother, because
why does
it doesn't bother you? It doesn't bother you. It doesn't.
It doesn't. Do with convincing my mind.
It doesn't bother you that he lied on multiple issues because he's saying what he's saying today. So that just doesn't bother you. All right, caller. So I think I'm pretty much done. Nate, do you have a question for this gentleman?
I do. I do. I don't even know where to begin. So I'll just start. When Donald Trump talks about, Mr. Trump, as everybody say, when Mr. Trump talks about being the law and order candidate in his speech, matter of fact, I meant to ask you, it's obvious you loved that speech. What was your takeaway from his speech at the convention? What was your feelings on that?
Well, my feeling was he was trying to bring the RNC together, because after what Ted Cruz did yesterday, that was awful. He made a promise that he was going to vote for. They made a pledge between each other that whoever wins, we're going to vote for him. But Ted Cruz decided to be basically selfish and think about himself. So Donald Trump was basically saying, you know what? America is not going the proper way. And I'm sorry to say it's not. America is looked at around the world. A lot of people doesn't like us, and it's true. America is not the shining light like we think we are. We're not. And there's a lot of stuff that we need to improve as Americans. And he was talking about, he was talking about the black people. He was talking about, and there's some stuff that he said that was the truth. As black people and everything, we need to bring back the economy. We need to bring back the salary of middle-aged people, because we don't have any salary. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, caller. This has been a good debate. I'm glad you called in, and it's about debating. We're going to try to get some other callers in real quick because we all got that much time left. But thanks for the call. Call back, man. We could debate anytime. All right. Thanks for the call. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. We're going to take another call. Area code 404. You on the air?
How's it going, man?
How you going?
I'm doing good, man. I just wanted to get your opinion on what you think about when Donald Trump gets elected, what he's going to do to all you fucking niggers. Is he going to deport you back to fucking Africa?
We got a troll.
Make this country better again?
Okay. All right, so put it on pause. Put him on mute real quick.
I already hung up on him.
But caller,
I'm sorry, I already hung up on him. My bad.
Let's talk about it.
My bad. I guess I had to click trigger figure.
No,
I had to click trigger figure. I already hung up on him. My bad.
Get him back.
I knew it too. I knew it. All right. Should I take another call? Because we got another call.
No,
Go ahead. Take the next one.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to Always to Black Radio.
Hello, caller.
The trolls is out in full force today. Huh? But this
Yes,
the thing
they
about
are.
this the thing about it. Let me tell you trolls something. It doesn't bother us. Like it really doesn't. Like if you think that's against us, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Because we know you a white supremacist, and we just accept that. It's okay. Doesn't bother me at all. But if you really want to, if you really have a different opinion, if you really want to debate some subjects, we always open for debate. You know, it's nothing. So, all right.
Exactly.
So,
like I live for this.
Shit's hilarious.
I think this is what I was born to do. You know, so.
Nah, but respect at least the last caller, even though I think some of his points was really ridiculous. But we appreciate the dialogue because this is what we need to do. Even with people we disagree with, we definitely need to start having dialogues about these issues. We really do. So that's just what it is. So
right.
Yeah.
We have another call. I don't even know if I want to get to this because I think it's another troll.
Nah, bring him on. Bring him on.
We don't
bring him
on.
on.
From anyone, man.
I'm welcome to discuss anything at this point.
All right. If you go a troll, please do something a little bit more creative than just saying nigger. I mean, do you think we gonna flip out because of that? So, all right. I already know. I'm figuring this is gonna be a troll call, but let's do it. Caller, you on Always to Black.
All right, so if you woke up one day and you were white, what would you do? How would you feel if you woke up one day and you was white?
If I woke up one day and I was white, how would I feel?
Yeah.
That's a very valid question, and it depends on what type of white person I am. If I'm a hatred person who just hates someone because of the amount of melanin in my skin, I would probably kill myself.
No.
But
no, listen.
if I was...
According to you, according to the people of black skin, every white person is a racist. So when you woke up one day as a white person, you would be a racist.
We have never made that claim.
Then why would you kill yourself? Why would you kill yourself? No. Why would you kill yourself then? If you woke up white.
You know why? Because
you just said you'd kill yourself.
I know if I let me answer your question. If I knew that I woke up one day and I was in white skin and I saw injustices happening because of the amount of pigment in someone else's skin, I would stand up and I would rise. I would be the first person on the front line to say this is not right.
You just said you'd kill yourself, though. You know what I mean?
What she said, she was a racist, hateful person. That's what she said.
It depends on what white person I was.
Exactly.
If I was a racist bigot,
and that's
then I would
stemming
kill
from a
myself
racial
because
hatred
I have
that's
no
already
place
embedded
in America.
in your
I have
mind.
no place in this
because
world.
you think white people are racist.
Hold up, caller. No, we never said that. We never said all white people is racist.
No.
Never once.
No. What? No. Listen to what I'm saying right now. She said that she would kill herself if she thought that she was a racist white person. Now, if she woke up one day and was white and automatically says,
don't put words in my mouth. What I stated was, it depends on what. Listen, mute him for a minute.
Your mouth.
Can you mute him? For a minute?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
You're a fucking dumb nigger bitch.
Okay, I'll be that. I'll be that any day. I would rather be a dumb nigger bitch any day than a white person born with a white supremacist mentality. I'll take that. You can even, that's out. You can have that. That's not even what I'm mad at. What I stated was, don't put words in my mouth. What I stated was this. It depends on what white person I was born to be. If I was born as a white person and I saw injustices happening in my own land, on the own soil that I live and breathe on and work on and everything else and my family is on, I would be the first person upset at the fact that there's so many injustices happening to Black people. And if I'm not that type of person and I ended up being a racist bigot like you, I would kill myself. And I'll say that to the day that I die, because there's no room in America, there's no room in the earth for people that have so much hatred towards a group of people just because of the amount of pigment in their skin. That is disgusting. It's bothersome. And you don't have no right to come and say anything towards me.
Miss Bob, can I say this for a second, though?
Yeah. We got about 40 seconds left.
Okay, I just want to say this quickly. I feel really disrespected that he got on the phone and he disrespected Ms. Baba. She is not a nigger bitch. She's Ms. Baba. And I don't care about these slurs, but one thing that you racist bigots will not continue to do, you're not going to be disrespecting our sisters. That's
right. Thank you, Nate. Thank you.
Right. And we got about 15 seconds left. What I say is, we must be touching the soul of you racists out there, because it looked like y'all in y'all feelings. That's what it is to me. So thank y'all for tuning in, even the white supremacists. Peace.
Peace, people.
FiOS is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to FiOS today to get our best offer ever. FiOS is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to FiOS today to get our best offer ever.